Okay, here's another feature in Claroread that is really helpful. And to make this work, we're also going to think about the free cloud storage that you have available to you via your Imperial College London login. So remember, you have got free access to Word and to all of Office, as well as access to a OneDrive. And if you're working on a Windows PC, you should find that you've automatically got OneDrive installed. If I click on the little yellow folder at the bottom and then choose OneDrive, we can see that this has automatically been set up. We know it's been set up because we've got these little green ticks. So that means that this folder is linked to my online OneDrive account. I've logged in with my personal OneDrive login, and that means anything I put into these folders is accessible through my phone. It's accessible on a different computer if I log in through the web browser into OneDrive. And that can be quite helpful if you've got some text that you want to listen back to, but maybe what you want to do is get away from the computer screen and just have it in your earphones. So what you could do is, if this was a long document, you can do Control and A or Command and A if you're on a Mac. That will select all the text in a particular document. And we can do Save as Audio. Okay, now I'm going to browse to my OneDrive folder, and I'm going to save this inside my Documents folder here. Okay, and that should have worked. Now, what that means is that that audio has been exported to my OneDrive. If your OneDrive is set up correctly, it means that the file should have been uploaded to your online space so that you can access it from anywhere. So if you have the OneDrive app installed on your phone, you should now be able to listen to that audio file away from your computer. So if I go into Documents and I go ahead and double click on this, then it should just...
Here is some research that I want to listen back to.
Load in Windows Media Audio Player. So that works fine, and that can be quite a good strategy to take advantage of if you want to listen to a document away from your computer. Okay, and finally we're just going to chat about some extra hidden features in the extras menu here. We're going to look at Claroview and Screenruler. And first of all, we're going to go ahead and load Claroview. Now what this is a tool for offsetting scotopic sensitivity or Erlen syndrome. Those are two phrases that are often associated with the experience of finding it difficult to spend long periods of time looking at black text on a white background. And if you have been through the DSA process at Imperial College London and you have some of this software already installed on a laptop that you've got through the DSA process, you might find in your needs assessment that something like scotopic sensitivity has been identified, and that reading comprehension is actually better if you go ahead and put a coloured filter over the screen. So I've just got a yellow filter at the moment, and if I adjust the settings here, I can adjust the opacity. Just imagine it's like a plastic overlay, and just imagine we've almost put a thicker piece of plastic over the screen here. We can adjust that with that slider. And you've got some colours that it suggests here that you can use, but you can always click on this right arrow and look at a wider range of colours there if you want to try some different ones. That one's quite bright. I think I should leave that one alone. We've got a more subtle grey one there. Now if you want real control over the way this is going to look, you can click on this additional arrow, and we've actually loaded up the general Windows colour palette. So as well as choosing a particular colour, what you can also do is define custom colours. So we've got 4 different pop-outs of colour here, but I think it's worth looking at this, because what that means is that you can choose a particular colour. Can you see we've got it previewed down at the bottom, and then you can adjust how dark it is. So you can either make it darker or lighter, as opposed to just opacity, you know, how thick it would be if it was a plastic sheet that is over the screen. So I'm going to make that a little bit darker. Now what's important here is that you need to remember to click on Add to Custom Colours, and that will mean you've got it in this little box here. And when you choose that colour and click on OK, that's the colour it's actually going to go ahead and use. And we can make that a little bit more subtle, or we can make it more intense. So if you have not been through the DSA process and you're looking at my screen now, and maybe I'm going through some of the suggested colours here and you're thinking that this looks a little bit easier to read, you might want to investigate this tool and see if it improves your reading experience somewhat. Now, rather than clicking on the red X to cancel this software, I'm going to go ahead and click on the green tick, because we've got this little thing saying that it is working from the system tray, and it lives down in the bottom of the screen. And it's worth just paying attention, because after a few seconds, what is going to happen is it's going to disappear, and that can be a little bit irritating. So either you need to go back into extras and choose Claroview again, or you can simply go down to the little arrow at the bottom of the screen, click on it, and then you'll find Claroview hidden in there. Maybe the easiest way to remember how to access the settings is actually just to leave the Claroread bar open, go up to extras, and you can load it up again, so that if you want to cancel it and get rid of this coloured filter, you could just click on the red X there. Okay, and it's back to normal. Another tool which people like to use sometimes in extras is the Screenruler. So first of all, it's going to look like this. It's going to just give you, let's just move that out of the way, like a focused window on the text that you are reading. If you don't like that, you can go and change it to underline mode, and you can have it like this. Now, as we can see, there are actually settings to change it to an overlay, and then it works very much like Claroview, with the slight difference that putting it back into underline mode will actually keep this filter here. So see, we can see that now. If I click on the little green tick, again, Screenruler goes and hides down at the bottom of the screen, and then after a minute or two, you are going to see that menu option disappear. So you either need to shut it down from the extras menu or from this little arrow. Otherwise, you've got this underline stuck under your mouse, which is great if you are deciding that you don't want to use the voices to read back what is on the screen, but you find that occasionally you lose your place on a document as you're working through it, so that just makes it easier to keep your place. And then when you want to turn it off, you can go back up to extras, into Screenruler, and you can click on the little X in the top right hand corner to turn it off.